Hello friends, welcome to Smarter Brains. In this video, I will teach you how to deploy a specific Spring Boot application onto Elastic Beanstalk. So we have taken up a very simple starter project that will be deployed onto Elastic Beanstalk, and we will just run and see the application. So let us just see what the application is all about. So I've got this application running right now on 8080 port. So let us just open up that page. So 8080, and I have an index HTML file created. So it basically gives just a welcome message to us. So let us get started with creating our Beanstalk environment. So first of all, what is Elastic Beanstalk? So Elastic Beanstalk is a facility provided by AWS. It's a service provided by AWS to deploy web applications without much ado. So it basically sets up entire things, it configures the environment and deploys the war for you as soon as you upload it. So no installations, no settings that you need to do, just use the UI to get started. So let us provide just a demo application name. For this deployment, we will choose a Tomcat based deployment for deploying a Spring Boot app. We can either use a sample application or we can upload our war. So to build a war, what we need to do is we can just right click this application in the Spring tool suite and run a Maven build. So here you can tell the goal to be a package goal and run it. So what essentially package does, it basically creates a jar for us, and the jar we can later deploy onto the Tomcat environment. So let us just wait for that. Alright, so we have our war ready in this target folder. I just skipped through the video to ensure that your time is not wasted unnecessarily. So it does take some amount of extra time during the first build. So if you do not get a war, and maybe you might get a jar file if you have directly taken up a project, in that case you will need to modify your war, modify your pom.xml to actually generate a war. You can do that by telling it to package it as a war, and you will need to ignore the Tomcat jar. This is required so that we are able to deploy it on Apache Tomcat, and it does not really conflict or start another server without any need. So this is what essentially we have done. Now we can actually deploy this war as needed and get going with Elastic Beanstalk. So let me quickly navigate to the folder and upload the war file. I'll just go to choose file, I'll choose my demo project and pick up the war file. That's it. So it will basically upload it to the S3 bucket and it will get going to deploy the war. Let us just wait for the upload to go through. Alright, so now that we have the war uploaded, let us just see what other options are available to actually configure the Beanstalk environment. Okay, so for now we are just creating this Beanstalk environment in the free tier. So everything is entirely free and you can use the resources as you want. So here we can actually change the proxy server that we are using. So what Apache basically does, it acts as a proxy layer here between the Spring Boot app and the Elastic Beanstalk deployment environment. So Apache basically uses 8080 port and maps it to 80 port externally. So if you want to access the Beanstalk environment, you will access it via port 80. In case you wish to pass some JDBC string, maybe for database or any other variables for the environment, you can actually pass it here. Currently, we have configured the instance to be of T2 micro type. It's having this particular AMI which contains Tomcat. There are a bunch of other items that you can configure. So there are security groups that you may configure. There are capacities that you can configure. Like, let us say you need a load balanced instance, you can actually have a load balanced instance and configure the parameters here. Maybe we will cover that in a later video. Similarly, there are configurations for rolling and deployments. So let us say you are having 4 to 5 instances, so you can actually practically decide how much deployment you want to do at a particular time. You can even manage your security items, like if you want to use a particular key to SSH into the machine, you can actually bind that over here, and a bunch of other items, including the creation of database if you need it. For now, let us proceed with the creation of the app. This might take up some time. Let us skip through that. All right. So we have this environment up and running. You can see the processes that took place. It mentions all the transitions that took place, and then you can check that the health is okay, which means that the demo application is ready and we can use it. You can see this is the deployed application output. So here, what actually happened? It took up our war, it deployed them onto the environment and got it running on Tomcat.